Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to bring to the attention of this House and perhaps deliberate on the incidences, or rather something that has happened within this week, Honorable Speaker, where the Ministry of Education has issued a directive of closure of 348 boarding primary schools, Honorable Speaker. And going through the report, Honorable Speaker, is that while we appreciate the government's effort to make sure that every boarding primary school is compliant, I think the statement, or rather the directive, may have come out of a panic reaction, Honorable Speaker. Because what the ministry did is that they went after the incident that happened in Nyeri, which was very unfortunate, Honorable Speaker. The ministry sent their officers in boarding schools for inspection to confirm compliance. And then they gave directive. Some were given 3 months to comply, others a month to comply, and even others 2 weeks. But Honorable Speaker, what is more shocking is that the ministry officials did not go back after 3 months to confirm compliance by reinspection of such schools so that they can make a decision whether to close or not. Honorable Speaker, they decided to use the report of inspection that was done 3 months without reinspecting, Honorable Speaker, because there is one particular case in my constituency where, Honorable Speaker, I was appraised of an issue in a school called Metaburo Primary School, boarding school, a school that has really been in existence, Honorable Speaker, for several years. And when the officials of the school brought it to my attention on what they wanted done in the school for compliance, Honorable Speaker, we committed and invested in that school. They built a new dormitory. They did every structure that was required. But still, I saw the school on the list as having been closed because they have not inspected, Honorable Speaker. You know, looking at the education challenges, Honorable Speaker, that we are facing, the issues of CBC, the issues of grade 9, the issues of, people struggling with school fees, and then there is a holiday economic challenge. Parents are left confused on what to do when schools resume in January. You are telling them, you can now be a day scholar. One of the reasons why students go for boarding schools or to the boarding schools is because of distance and the choice of school. You cannot tell a parent who lives in Nairobi and has his kid in Nyeri boarding school that now you'll be going as a day scholar from Nyeri to Nairobi. There ought to have been a timeline, or more or less, for lack of a better word, moratorium of timeline, so that they can be able to comply gradually. We should not be making panic reactions when such incidences occur, Honorable Speaker. So I bring to the attention of this House so that you can deliberate and see what happens to the parents in January. And I think the chairman, I don't know whether he's here, he should actually guide us and tell us what exactly should be done, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
I should be asking you, where is the chairman? You are the whip. Yes, Farah.
Mr. Speaker, I agree entirely with what the whip Osoro has said. As a matter of fact, in my constituency, they do not go to do any evaluation for one reason or the other. Maybe they use security as a reason. But they instructed the local officers, their education officers, to do it, which they did very well. Only to see now that those schools cannot be boarding schools anymore. And the whole idea of having a boarding school in a pastoral nomadic society is so that the pastoralists who move around with their animals can have their children in a boarding school so that they can access education. Mr. Speaker, in a whole, what you call a sub-county in my case, a sub-county, a whole sub-county, with 2 wards, the only 3 boarding schools we had to serve the pastoralist nomadic society in there, they have closed them now. And we don't even know where they got the information from, because the local administration, education administration, did send in there and say that these schools are compliant. The schools are compliant. So where they got this information from, nobody knows. And in any case, if you close a school in Liboi or in the Majale or in a place called Kulan, and when the parents are out there with their cows and camels, and one of them has got over 400 students. Mr. Speaker, it's a pity that the chairman of education is not here. But that is not good. That is literally an educational catastrophe to render more than 1,000 young men and women to have no opportunity to go ahead with their education because of one reason or the other. I mean, this is a very glaring thing. We put up those boarding schools so that these students can access them. So this has got to be reversed. How they're going to reverse it, I don't know. But at least in the case of those nomadic pastoralist communities where they did not even go, and the ones that you have complied with, like Osoro is talking about his own school, they must reverse it immediately and restate them as boarding schools, because that is the only way our children can access education.
Ngong Johanna Ngeno. Give him the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Much as we might have issues, Mr. Speaker, with most of the departments in the Ministry of Education who are doing these assessments, Mr. Speaker, I think also it is time they put serious attention to not only even the schools that have issues or boarding schools that may have some particular issues which can lead to problems to the students and the people who are studying there, but they must also consider seriously matters of schools. I mean, because, Mr. Speaker, there was a time when these people would create ways of approving schools to be registered based on kilometers, number of kilometers, or number of... I think, Mr. Speaker, there has to be a very good standard of doing assessment so that we do not close schools which may be because of the substandard dormitories or substandard classrooms. And yet, Mr. Speaker, the needs of the people who are in that particular area need schools, need classrooms, need dormitories. So, Mr. Speaker, I think the Ministry of Education must have a very serious assessment body. I know they normally have what we call the CASO or something of that sort, Mr. Speaker, and I think that body has to be
Thank you.
renewed so that it can be looking at very serious matters that make education very good. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Ole Sunguli. Or who is that? Not Ole Sunguli? No, it's not you, Sunguli. It is Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this outcry is real, and more so for public schools. And I think what is very critical was the timing. I think the timing was wrong, Honorable Speaker, because most of these public schools are being supported by NGCDF. And even when we look at the budgeting cycle, there is no way 3 months ago and today, anybody would have factored that expenditure into the budget. So how I wish that this could be suspended up to the next budget cycle, Honorable Speaker, and most of public schools. Why am I saying this, Honorable Speaker? I have one school in my constituency which has been affected. And the challenge is the school has already pupils in class, and now they are being told that January they can't report. And I think it's Honorable Farah has said some of them have to travel a long distance to reach the schools. So I think it is really, we want to appeal to the ministry to suspend this decision for some time so that we can even factor the expenditure into the budgets so that we improve the situation. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, on the same issue, something else, then hold your horses. Rindikiri, on the same issue, go ahead.
To thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think this issue of standards among our education institution more so on the boarding primary and secondary schools, Mr. Speaker. One of the problems that I have come across is lack of clear, uniform standard of qualifying on the basic or the minimum requirement that the ministry was looking for to allow operating a boarding school. Mr. Speaker, first, I have been waiting for the quality assurance officers to come and do evaluation on all boarding schools in my constituency body. Up to now, Mr. Speaker, they haven't come. One reason as to why these people haven't come, Mr. Speaker, is because they have not been facilitated by the ministry to do so. Meaning, therefore, Mr. Speaker, the directive that was given to evaluate all the schools is not going to be done. One, because there's no uniformity. Two, they lack mobility power. There's no transportation given for these officers. So, Mr. Speaker, in as much as we are saying we are giving directives, I don't see the implementation of the same because of those reasons. Number two, lack of proper qualified personnel, Mr. Speaker. In many constituencies,
Thank you.
we lack quality assurance officers, Mr. Speaker. They are using ministerial officials from the Ministry of Health, meaning there is a deficiency, or the people are qualified to give what they mean by standards that they need to implement. So I thank you, Mr. Speaker, but sometimes the government issue a directive which will not be implemented anyway, because they are not facilitating these people to move.
Thank you. Majority Leader, that issue raised by your whip is very important. Advise the Chair Education that tomorrow afternoon he should bring a statement to assure the country, one, the cogent reasons for closing such many schools, and what measures are they putting in place to mitigate the inconvenience loss that may be suffered by both the schools, the parents, and the students. So tomorrow afternoon, inform Meli to give us even a preliminary statement to assure the parents and teachers and the country on the issue. Next order.